want to be politically correct, but sometimes it takes a little bit of a kick to get some movement going.
To be honest, Julie, and I want to be very frank, I don't think there is a single ministry that has not put its all. Like I said, we are developing a new framework. We're developing a framework where ministries are actually engaging themselves in doing, on average, 200 different projects in 210 projects in 210 constituents throughout the country. So we've had challenges, for example, in developing the framework, which we said we wanted to develop in terms of using a consultative process, using also MPs, local communities, everybody participating. So this is something new to them. But we now have finalized on the framework. We finalized on the tender awards in almost 3/4, and we believe that the beginning of April we'll actually see a lot of these projects and programs groundbreaking in terms of the schools, in terms of the health centers, in terms of the markets, the Juakali sheds. Okay. We will see groundbreaking, and I will also be going out to the country. I'm encouraging the people themselves to start raising questions to their own members of parliament, to the local, what's happening to our particular program, because like I said, by the end of this month, we will have released about 14 billion, about 12 billion, the balance of which we will have, which will be largely for the schools, which we shall have released by the end of our financial year. So really the challenge now is on members of parliament, is on local communities, is on the contractors, all of us saying, where are we with our projects? Where is my health center? So
wherever your constituency is, get involved, find out what's going on. If you're concerned about the pace of things, find a way to raise it with the media or perhaps with the finance ministry themselves. Is there a way of people contacting your ministry?
Yes, in fact, we're trying to develop a website where we will have all the various projects online. Okay. But really, the best people to get in touch with is your local member of parliament, is your local education officer to know where the schools are, is, for example, if whatever school has been nominated by that particular constituency, is to find out from the board, because the other thing is we've also allowed the whole tendering process not to be done by the central government, which is something, again, that's very new. It's all been done at the constituency level. So it's a question of following up on those contractors, making sure that the quality of the job is right, making sure that it's on time. So we want local communities to, to be involved. Guys. There you go.
Now, I want to shift gears slightly. You know, let's recognize when we've stepped forward, and this is an achievement. We are changing lives. We've seen some people's lives transformed even just by fish farming. But if we end up, Waziri, back where we were in 2007, in 2012, it is a wasted effort. How does this country ensure that we never go back? What are your thoughts on that?
I think, like I said, even in designing this program, we were actually basically saying, look, we need programs and projects that people will be able to feel, that people will feel they participated in making those decisions, that contracts are being awarded not necessarily to big contractors from Nairobi or from the major cities, but also to small contractors throughout the country, so people begin to feel that participation. And really, I think if as a government working together, as parliament working with government, if we could actually engage ourselves on these issues that face our people on a day-to-day basis, if we said that that was really going to be what we shall all focus our minds, our hearts, our efforts in doing over the next 3 years, I am almost 100% certain that we will not have a repeat of 2007. But if we continue making politics the center, as opposed to dealing and addressing the issues and the concerns of people, this is what worries me. And really my hope, my prayer, and that's why we're actually hoping that we will not only push this program in this financial year, but be able to extend it so we begin to get participation and development in terms of both decision-making and also implementation. I think we will be able to achieve the objectives of growth that we want to achieve. We will be able to achieve the objectives of equity, both regional, income, as well as generational, and begin to touch, as a government, the lives of Wanjiku, as you said. And I think that's what Wanjiku is looking for.
Absolutely vital. Just a final word on something, and it is so important to address the needs.
Yes.
And when you do, you transform a lot of things in this country. But there's one monster that remains alive and well and kicking, and it's called tribalism.
Yes.
I always say there's no difference between racism. If you don't like racism, you shouldn't be a tribalist. Same thing.
Absolutely.
How are we going to conquer that monster?
Like I said, tribalism is a creation of leaders. You are poor because so-and-so is rich. And that's why I'm saying, let's begin to transform our mentality and to realize that we can only transform Kenya if we transform our mentality.
Right.
We want Kenyans to begin to feel, from wherever they are, that they can feel the government. That's what we're talking about, that fiscal devolution, that they have a stake in deciding, first and foremost, what their priorities are. Secondly, participating also in implementation, also feeling that these contracts are not necessarily just being awarded to a few, but everybody is participating, because once people begin to feel that the impact of that development, once people begin to see money also in their pockets, I think the ability then of leaders to talk about tribalism or to use tribalism as a political tool will dissipate. So that's why I'm saying, let's focus ourselves on this agenda. Let's focus ourselves on ensuring that we have this equity, both regional, regional income as well as generational. And I begin to believe that we shall now begin solving the issues of tribalism, as you're saying.
Okay, thank you so much for making time.
Yeah.
So you've heard it. We have a chance to transform the country just by ensuring that you have a stake. You do have a stake. Wherever you are, wherever you're watching in Kenya right now, your constituency, watch what's going on. If you're concerned that it's not moving fast enough, you've been told local people on the ground, actually decisions have been made there. So you can raise issues there. Just to remind you about our poll question, members of parliament have been seeking to have this program, to have the funds be channeled through the CDF. And we're asking, do you agree with this? Do you think that the economic stimulus program funds should be channeled through the CDF? The results so far, 10% yes, a massive 90% no. And we hope, Waziri, the MPs are listening, because this is just an example of lack of faith in leadership, and it's an issue. So thank you so much for being with us
You're welcome,
tonight.
Julie.
Still so much more coming up on Sunday Live. Let's have a look.